So let's wait till everything is synced up. So who's watching from YouTube? Well, okay, I think it's working. So let's start. Well, let's take it casually. First of all, let me paste the Twitch link in the chat in case you want to see that. So, well, the idea is we're not really going to do any coding today. I'm just going to do a few stuff. Well, I'm just going to create a few base models and stuff like that, so we can later use them in the turn-based series. Okay, so just treat this one as a hangout. We'll be able to feel free to ask questions or whatever. I'm going to cover a few workflows. Maybe you find it interesting, maybe you don't. It really depends, I guess. So yeah, I think I'm going to live stream for about 3 hours. So we're going to do a few things. Well, I know I'm going to do a few things, and actually I think we have some audio left. So let me go find that because it's really annoying. So let me find. Well, hopefully I'll find it. See, follows. Okay, so well, the idea is I'm going to use Marvelous Designer. I've already created some puns, but yeah, it's not really something wild. In case you don't know what Marvelous Designer is, which I'm going to guess most of you, especially if you are doing programming, you don't really know what it is. It's basically simulations. You create patterns from here and you simulate the clothes on top of it. Yeah, most of your AAA games you've seen, you played, or whatever, you probably played a game that has used Marvelous Designer. Trust me. It's also been used on movies. I know they used it on The Hobbit and so on. So it goes a little bit back. So anyway, the workflow is you do a pattern, and then you simulate things on top. I've already done that because that's the easy part, and to actually create the punch, it's not as easy as it might seem, but you trace the pattern, and those alerts are too quiet. Yeah, that's on purpose because I really hate when, you know, things pop. So they actually should be muted. That's for my sanity. Anyway, okay, so yeah, one workflow that it's not really that common that you might see, which what I've learned from various workshops I did, is how we can make this into a low poly version, which we're going to use to later, well, we're going to use as a base and later either sculpt on top of it, or, you know, do whatever thing else we want to do, and while still keeping even the UVs. So the good thing about Marvelous Designer is that the patterns we actually trace here, these are also UVs. So let's say I take this and say export it as an OBJ. I've already exported a few things, but let's go via this. Let me find me. Actually, should really be showing this, but anyway, let's go under MD exports, and I'm going to export this as my base. Okay, we get a few export objects, unwelded thing. Now I'm going to guess that this doesn't really mean anything to most of you, but in case you were wondering, these are the settings: unwelded, thin, and unified UV coordinates. So I'm going to click OK, and this will export the mesh without this guy. We don't really need him, and it will be our 3D mesh. But I want to actually show you how you can retopologize really easy anything you create inside Marvelous Designer. And yeah, I don't actually know how to set categories in Twitch and in streaming, so bear with me. And I don't know how to set the volume down, even though I've said it multiple times. Anyway, okay, so now I'm going to click this and I'm going to say reset my 2D arrangement, and here it is, the unsimulated point, and I'm going to also export the objects. Okay, same export settings as before. So we're done for now from Marvelous Designer. We do have our base meshes. Now let's go on to Maya. Okay, most of you probably know Maya. It's not really much of a secret, and I don't really do a lot of poly modeling in Maya, to be honest. I keep it for general things and basically ornatrix, and what I'm going to show you now. Let me find my restream. So, okay, I'm going to import my objects, and let's find it. And I want to import my, let's actually find them. Feel free to ask any questions. It doesn't have to be about modeling. You can ask stuff for programming as well, anything really. So I'm going to import my object for the mesh. Unfortunately, we did got the mesh as well, Oops. And let's see, yeah, and it's also unwelded, so I'm going to re-export the base again because I don't need the base character. So I'm going to export obj selected and import. If I know how to export cloth animation to Unity, I saw something about vertex animation, but was with an asset. Yes, you can actually export animations onto, even if it's vertex animation, depending. Well, actually, no, I think it is vertex animation. You can actually export this from Marvel Designer, but it's not going to work as you might expect. So keep that in mind. You can experiment with this. It's usually baked into FBXs, and it is vertex animation, yeah. But again, it's not going to be, it's not going to work as you expect it is going to work. So let's import it again, and I'm going to import the base. Okay, so that's my base. I'm going to do a few edits later once we have the low base, the low poly base for this. Otherwise, yeah, otherwise I'm just going to retopologize on top of this. So I'm going to also import the resetted patterns, and we're going to work from this. Okay, it's going to take some time to do all of it, and that's why I'm doing the stream. So I'm basically doing the mundane things live, so you know, so I can pass the time a little bit easier. So let's see about questions. So you have to bake the animation before exporting. Yes, that's exactly what you need to do. You're basically baking animations. Okay, and so to start this, we're first of all going to make this a live surface. A live surface basically tells Maya that this surface is going to be, we're going to draw on top of the surface or just keep it there so we can place things on top of it. And one important, well, not important thing, one thing that we're going to use is if we're going on the UV editor, and let's see, I think, okay, so I think we actually have the wrong settings for this as well. Let's say export, object selected, font space resetted, unified UV coordinates, single objects, multiple objects. Yeah, no, this should have been correct, but we're not getting the correct settings for them, unless, because they are clones, unless it's doing it like that. Don't think though that's the case. Let's try it again. Object selected, okay, and then in Maya, let's close that and import set it objects. Okay, now we kind of have two meshes, so let's, oops, let's see what's happening here. We got this as UVs. Yeah, that shouldn't be the case. We okay, let me figure this out. Maybe my next series could be about a 2D game, for example, Death Gambit. Yeah, Death Gambit is is looking really nice, but that takes professional artists to make something look like that. And I struggle to just get UVs in Maya. So, you know. So, you know what? Let's delete them and let's go and export it again as normally. Because I think something got screwed up with the settings. So, I'm going to export again J as my pants base. And let's say unified texture. Okay, the scale should be the same. Okay, let's export that, and now let's reset the 2D arrangement and then export again. Say select it, pants base, reset it. Okay, save texture, and let's do this again. Let's go into import, and I'm going to, yeah, this actually exported the textures as well. Okay, doesn't matter. We have our base. Technically this should have the UVs should have been a little bit better, but anyway, let's go forward and we'll see if it's going to work or not. Otherwise we're going to have to figure it out. Anyway, so as I was saying, we're going to make this as a live surface, and we're going to use quick draw, which is just a tool that it's going to allow us to create to basically click right on the model and create vertex points, and then holding shift you can create quads to this. Okay, simple. Let's go Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, and well, now the mundane thing can start. So, okay, just going to start placing a few vertex points. Place them here, and I don't actually need to go that much detail because it's going to be a little bit problem to finish all of this. So, you know what, let's remove some of them. So basically the idea with quad draw is you just add things, add vertices, and then you are building them. I'm going to do this kind of dirty at first, and as you can see, I'm not really worried about following the edges or something like that. I just want to cover the base, a volume of my asset like this, and actually I could have just do an extrude operation and down, down, and down. Okay, then we can move the edges a little bit like this, and I can actually extrude this as well, and it will, as you see, it can snap onto the position. We can move this. Oops. Let's move in closer a little bit. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. So let's maybe add one here and one here. Add one here. This one here. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this before, so keep that in mind. So I need to remember a few things first. Okay, so that's basically the base of our topology. We can also add some edge loops and stuff like that, which I will in a bit. Let's add some major, the major parts of our object, and let's maybe delete this one and add it above here maybe. do something like that. Yeah, but the icon at the top, it's still not done, so I don't really need to worry about this. It's not, yeah, there's not an n-gon though. They're all quads. Don't see what you're seeing. Okay, but it's still not done. Yeah, this needs, oh, you mean this. So it's still not done. I can add, things, stuff like that. I just want to show you the logic behind it, and actually I just want to try it and test it if it's going to work, because the UVs were a little bit messed up. Okay, so I have my base mesh that it's live. We can unlink it, and I can select my poly surface, the new surface we created. Now with Maya, if you go to transfer attributes and you click the box here, you can transfer attributes from your vertex points. In this case, I'm going to close the vertex position. I'm going to set it off, and I'm going to move sample space to word. I'm just going to move the UV set. Oops. It's still not done. The end where you say that's going to be hard to animate. I'm first going to worry about retopology and making the asset, and later we're going to add more loops. And later, I mean, it's not even going to be in this live stream. We're going to, rig it and do all those things. So for now, I'm just going to create the asset, and I'm just going to show you the workflow first, so you have an idea of what we're going to do, and then we're going to do anything else on top of it. So as I was saying, we're going to transfer the UV set from the flat to the poly surface, and we're going to do this by sampling the space on the world position. Okay, so we hit transfer. Of course we see nothing right now, but if we add this onto a layer and close this one, and now we have our base. Well, we have this, but now it has the same UV space as our mesh over here. So similarly, if we do this to this and say from this mesh move a few other attributes, for example, we can move now the vertex position, but sample it under UV space and hit apply, and voila. If we remove this, we will hide it. Okay, obviously we do need a lot of resolution more, but that's how it's going to work. Okay, so the idea is we do get to create the low poly version using Quadro, and then with Quadro we're just going to move the attributes from one space to the other, and then we're going to join them and create the asset from there. Where I'm from Greece. Let's see, what I try to do is make sure the page is consistent. I take a few prints of the asset license, but still don't know if it's enough. But it's okay. I don't actually know what you are referring to. So if you wanna so it refers to if you have problems with copyright after we launch. No, we never had problems with this because we usually go full custom assets. Well, not just usually, always go with custom assets. Now, if you bought something from the asset store, it's always the case the guy that put it there actually didn't have the license, because there's a few models that are actually from Call of Duty. Yeah, and of course Unity doesn't do anything about that. So copyright is actually something, it's a big topic, to be honest, which we're not going to cover here. Anyway, so okay, so with this we have well, this is the basic workflow. This also has UVs, which is really cool, because now we can modify the topology even more, and it will still have the UVs, and it will still have everything we want, so we can work with the model. So we will not have to, you know, do UVs on our model. We will just take this and print this, and I'll show you also how you can make normal maps really easy, but we're still not there yet. So let's bring back our base model and let's continue working. Oops. And let's continue working with our model. And I think, let's see, yeah, okay. So we need to kind of fix this. Oops. And let's see, yeah, we kind of need to also delete history. And forgot to make this live. So take this. Okay, let's see how we can fix this Hangout. I think delete that. Let's do with this. Yeah, that's going to get a little bit nasty. And you know what, maybe we can delete this, and since this is not really going to show, I don't really have to worry that much about it. Oops. Let's add one thing here. Okay, and obviously the more resolution I'm adding, the more it's going to click on top of, it's going to overlap better on top of our pattern. There's one more thing, however, that I could always, you know, just start smooth subdivision, which I'm going to do in zebras actually, and not in here. So I'm still going to get, you know, a low poly version of my pants, which I'm going to later use to make the entire mess a little bit better. Okay, I'm just going to focus on making it so they are, you know, about the same size, most of them. Can always try to relax them. So if anyone has any ideas on what should we do with the Hangout here, do let me know. I'm still going to keep this fairly low so I can actually do edits a little bit better. And I think there is a way to select the entire thing. Will the stream be available as a video after it ended? Yes, I'm going to cut a few things, and I'm actually going to, you know, take the relevant parts and create a few tip videos. Okay, so don't worry if you're missing something or you can't follow, you're able to see it as you'll be able to see it later, what I want to say. Okay, so let's add all of that. Don't like this that much. That's going to be a little bit horrible. Let's try maybe adding that here. I'm not entirely, don't really care if it's not that similar. Okay, we can always fix that, and we could always also retopologize if it comes to that. if we have to sculpt a little bit more inside the zebras or whatever, we can always retopologize inside zebras and then just use the same normal map or just retarget it back again. Okay, and I think I might not even do that much of sculpting. Let's bring this forward. This one, you can see it's a little bit dirty, as you can see. Maybe we can add to it something like that, I guess. And Maya doesn't actually like having, yeah, or quick draw actually. Sometimes it stacks. It has its issues, I guess. Okay, I don't really like this, so let's remove that. Let's move that as well. And before I go with more detail to this, yeah, this needs to be brought here, here. So that's why I don't really like to have a lot of detail, because we can make this much faster if we just remove all of this. Okay, you have your, actually that was important one, you have your resolution here. I don't know what to do for that, but maybe we can join this if we remove this here and add this one here. That's not really going to look great when animating, so maybe let's do this. You know what, let's just leave it there, who cares. No, actually it breaks the entire thing, so no, let's move that. Can do it like this. And if I want to add resolution now, yeah, that's weird. Why are you, we probably had something missing. So let's move this here. Okay, if I want to add more resolution, this is much more simpler to do it this way, as you can see. So keeping it low is pretty important. So if I subscribe to Patreon, the new combat episodes are coming soon. Plan for the series. Combat episodes 4. For turn-based, yes. The turn-based series is actually kind of my own game, so we're going to see a lot of it, because I actually want to make it into an actual game. Well, I actually want to make all of them into a game, but the turn-based series is what's looking, well, I feel it's easier for me to make it. For example, making a Souls-like game, it's going to be crazy doing it by myself. Okay, so what I'm trying to do right now is basically have the same number of points on the same, mostly the same positions. So I can later add them, so I can merge this point, one point, with the other point easily. So let's see, what should we do? I think we should probably do something like this. And as you can see, we might start having a few issues with that later. Let's add one here, and I kind of want to add, yeah, okay, I think that's slightly better. We might want to fix it later. So let's add this one here. We can actually go, we can go really faster this time. because if I add one here and one here, and maybe add ones in the middle as well, and try to find it. Okay, so we have one here, we have one here, here. Maybe move this a little bit slower, here and here. Try to get as much as possible close to the edges. Okay, let's see, let's try and recreate this now. So let's remove this and this, and about here we can add a point straight across, and we can add one point down here, the other one can go here. Oops. Yeah, so as you see, it's really mundane. It's kind of boring, to be honest, but it has to be done. That's why I rather do them on a live stream, so you can ask me questions and maybe see how hard it is to actually make a game by yourself. That's not to deter you though, that's just to, you know, if you are determined enough, you can do it, anything you want. Okay, so that's kind of similar. We can add the lines here and there. For now, we want to add more resolution to this for sure. So let's start adding them. Oops. Okay, that seems good enough. I will probably bring this down a little bit. Maybe do this, maybe relax it slightly. Maybe not. So anyone got any questions, anything, not just for this, any other series you want maybe see, apart from Death Gambit, I guess, that's already given. To the series, well, what consists of a 2D series? Actually, okay, I have a few, well, a lot ideas about 2D series, but I'm not going to share them on stream just yet. We're going to see a lot of things, really cool things. I'm actually in talks with well, okay, I'm not going to tell. You'll just see when it's time to see. We're making some puns. Well, we're apologizing some puns. Okay, well, maybe this will be right here. Yeah, funny thing is, I can't seem to select multiple, I guess. So we can move them like that. They don't have to be exactly the same, because we are going to just, we are going to, let's say, reproject on top of the high poly mesh. So we don't have to be, that precise. Just if they are fairly evenly spaced, it should do the trick. But the important thing is that this the edges, or the points we have here, are similar from the other side as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, yeah, kinda lost it. For multiplayer, peer-to-peer, what do you recommend? Photon, Unity? None, actually. Well, okay, you can use Photon, but none will do. Well, you'll see in a few weeks about that. Unity really has no multiplayer solution except deprecated UNet. Yes. They are making a new iteration, which is the third iteration, which is okay. If you want to make something with that, which they're just going to stop supporting in the future, that's up to you. Okay, I think they are fairly the same. Don't like the shapes here. And actually, before I even add all that high poly, the more resolution I mean by high poly, I'm going to start doing the behind as well. But you see, it's so easy to add and remove resolution. That's why I kind of like this workflow. Maybe not that one. Okay, let's start removing this and this, so this and this can go away, and it's fairly okay. Okay, so let's start doing them. Now with this we're going to get into a little bit of a trouble. These two will now have to connect to this, so we need to have 3 points at least. That will be 1, and maybe move this above. Move that. You're making your own multiplayer solution. Nice. Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't remember if I actually said it anywhere or not. So you're either reading the future or maybe you hacked me. Let's see. Okay, so we have the 3 that's going to merge to this. This needs to go a little bit higher up, however. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So and 7. Okay. Okay, then if you do tab and yeah, it doesn't take this as an edge, damn it. Well, we can actually split this, I guess, and it's split. Then let's do tab and middle mouse. We can extrude the entire edge. Don't like that it's breaking it up like that. So let's extrude forward. I don't know why it's giving it a different color, but whatever. Okay. Can't wait to see my approach to multiplayer. You've already seen my approach to multiplayer, so don't know what you are referring to. It's be used on the same. Well, it's going to be similar to what you've seen both in Souls-like, both in anything, really. If you are referring to creating videos with multiplayer solution, no, that's not going to happen. Mostly because it took about 2 to 3 years to develop it. So, you know, it's not as easy to make it. Okay, let's move that higher up a little bit. Okay, then let's start adding some more definition to this. And okay, we have 4 at least here, so this can be 1, this can be 1, and then we can start extruding this. Let's delete this one, and let's maybe delete this one as well. I think we're missing one for this, and you know what, let's add one here, move that there, move that there. We should definitely add one here, and we have 3, 4, so something like that. That's a little bit ugly, but that's why we can add one here. And this now can start. That's a little bit weird of. What is my favorite episode of Black Mirror? I've actually only watched half an episode, I think. I'm not really that much into sci-fi, to be honest. As you understand, this is a pretty mundane process, to be honest. Okay, so let's think a little bit. Maybe we should join this. Maybe we can leave it like that. Okay, add that there, then move this up, up, up. Okay, well, the problem, well, not the problem. We need to know this to have the same edges as this, and this, of course, as this. Then all these side edges should be the same number as these edges. So let's see. So we have 10 edges there, and we have 3, 6, 9, and 10. Okay, so that should do for this one, I guess. Now I don't know, it will have really worked if we had, if I could copy paste all this. I think it's not going to let me do that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do. Let's do duplicate. Offset, keep face together. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work, so I'd rather not screw it. So let's do the rest. Let's add one here, let's add one here, another one here, and one here. I don't know what was that. So extrude, extrude, extrude. Maybe extrude it towards the end. Move that, move that. Maybe try and grab that. Okay, so you can move this there. This needs to be, let's make sure it's around this level. Oops. Let's add one here. Then maybe move this slightly in so we can do this. Let's go with this. Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay. So let's try and make one here, then one here. Oops. Okay. And we have this, can move this up forward a bit. Then let's see, 1, 2, 3. Let's move this. Oops. See the stream. Yeah. So let's add this one here, this one here, and I think, yeah, no, we don't want that there. We want to add one down here and one here and one here. Let's do it like that. Oops. So let's add one point here and start joining them together. This needs to be a bit higher up, so it's on the same, at least similar place to that. And yeah, they kind of, they kind of freeze at their position, so it's hard to move. Delete that. Beautifully. So we have one close to the edge. Actually, we don't need to have it that close to the edge, I guess. So we can have one here, 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 and here. So we have now 5, which means we can have here, maybe here. Okay, well, not the best. Definitely not the best. You know what? Let's keep the basic. We'll figure it out. Okay, so let's keep the basic count. Okay, we have one like looks like. Well, it's kind of shitty anyway. So let's add one here, that there, add one here, add that there. Don't really like this edge. This edge seems like it's breaking it off. We can start adding them on the middle. Let's see if we start realizing this. Oops, definitely not. I don't actually know of a tool for splitting scenes and subscenes, to be honest. There's probably something in the asset store for sure. Okay, so let's start breaking this up so we can make them at least feel a little bit more looking, you know, evenly spaced. So we can remove this and this. We can remove entirely the inner detail or the not important detail. Okay, okay. Okay, so we have 3 on top. What? Let's remove that as well. Let's make sure this is fairly spaced. Maybe add this a little bit higher up. Okay, so let's start cutting then. Let's start with this. Actually, no, we should. Ah, damn it. Well, okay, I'm not going to worry that much about it. You can just continue moving forward with it and fix any issues we have later. So this is evenly spaced, or well, the same number as the rest, especially if we remove this and add it back up again. Okay, and let's see, then we can start splitting this up. Let's make sure we have the same numbers with this. Let's say down here, down there. Okay, so we have 10, and which we need to add on 6, 7. So let's add one here, 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 and here, and here, and here, and here. This needs to add, yeah. I think that's going to be an issue. So let's move it down here and add one here. And we have 10 now. We have 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, that's 10. Then that means this is more than 10. 6 and yeah, we have 11 here. So we have one more, which is probably around here. Let's see. Yeah, this is different than this. Okay. You know what, let's keep it like that. So let's split this up into 3s. And we're going to worry about that later. So let's leave this at 3s. 3s is probably not enough resolution to retopologize on top of all of this. Just saying. So let's go and add this here. Let's add this one. Will need 3 points. So let's add this one here and here. This and this, and then this. Come on. Damn it. Okay. Fairly close, at least. Okay, then let's move forward. Okay, okay. So yeah, I'm more into, you know, doing it dirty at first and then fixing any issues, all stuff like that. Not going to worry that much about it, especially at this place. I'm not really that good of an artist, so I don't even expect this to turn out nice. Just a full disclaimer. Okay, okay, over there. And we can extrude as well. Okay, so let's say this is complete, quote unquote. I'm going to select the base. Let's actually unlive it. Select that, and we're going to copy to transfer the attributes on sample space world, and we want to move the UV sets. Okay, so apply. Now we have our UV sets. Okay, so from this to this, mesh, transfer attributes, vertex position. We don't want UV sets, and we want to add that via UV sets. So close that. I think those are already, they're not. Okay, let's add this onto its own layer. And lovely. Kind of have some issues. I think it has to do with having the same UVs on top of that. That's why this is probably happening. So let's do Ctrl-Z. So let's take a look. Yeah, okay, you know what, let's try and export this with different UVs. But first I'm going to break the linked editing on all of this. So they get treated as different UVs. Technically we should have done this on the actual mesh. Anyway, let's say punch 2 unbuild, unified texture, okay, unified UV coordinates, scale 100%, okay. I think that should probably do this. That should probably be okay. So let's close that. Let's import a new pants as well, and let's say pants 2 mesh. No, they still have the same. That's weird. I don't know why. Previously when I did it, I don't know why they have the same UV coordinates. It's kind of weird. So let's see, maybe the UV editor in here, if I remember how to do this, which I don't, of course. So let's see, to the pattern grid, no. Materials. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get it. It's actually weird. So let me Google it. Hold on. Any questions? Anything? And we are, yeah, we are on an hour of a live stream, so that's good. Models Diner. Let's see how we are on the stream. Let's see. We have 11 people watching, so that's good, I guess. Yeah, the manual is down for Marvelous Designer, so that's lovely. A project with my viewers, as in start a project and do what? You want to explain that? Yeah, I don't know why on earth we do not get that. So let's see, maybe let's open it up again. Since they all have the same position, I don't actually care if they, if I change the UVs or whatever, because I'm moving attributes and stuff like that via world space. I don't actually care if I change or I'll do some change or whatever. Okay, let's delete that. Bounce to mess. Oh, hold on. That's for that. For that. That's for that. Okay. Let's import another one. That's for pants 3. The UV editor. Yeah, we still get the same. Damn it. I think this is a problem with Marvel's Designer actually, not with Maya, because we're getting the UVs to be at the same. They all spawn at the same position, which that shouldn't be the case. Game with your viewers, you will choose programmers, artists, etc., and then we will make a game, and none of you will get paid. That's lovely. That's also, slave labor. So I'm not going to do that, actually. Okay, so I'm just going to start looking for answers. Which means I'm going to watch a video. Don't know if that's going to actually show in the stream, but we can mute it. Oh. Okay, then so we can go from here to missed it. Simulation. Oh, there you are. So you see where the problem starts? It's from here, because they are on the same position, which means they're going to have issues when moving that. So if I fix now my UVs and make sure nothing overlaps, it should be better. Okay, let's go with simulation and then select all of that, then export them as, let me delete the older ones since they're useless anyway. Pants fixed UVs. Okay, okay, then inside Maya we can I think I'm going to, yeah, we can delete this and delete this and this as well. Actually, let's keep this, although I think we can delete it either way. Anyway, so let's import this to pants fixed UVs. Okay, there they are, and then their UVs are going to be set like that. Perfect. So with that, it means we can go again in Marvelous Designer, reset the 2D arrangement, then export it again, pants UV fixed resetted. It sure will be an interesting idea, but again, I'm not going to be the one to ask people to do things for free, to be honest. So pants UV fixed resetted, perfect. Okay, so that's the ones that we're going to use with the same UVs. Awesome. So let's delete this mess. We still have the poly surface, so we just need to copy from this to this, and before we do anything, let's delete all by type history, and then let's select it again just to be sure. So mesh transfer attributes on wall space and pass the UV sets. Okay, I think everything is correct to this. Okay, apply. We have our new values. Then from this to this, we're going to apply the vertex position and based on UVs without the UV sets. Okay, let's hit apply and let's see what we did now. Let's add them into a layer, and here we go. We have our pants. There are a few issues, obviously, but I hope you get the idea. Now we have a few things that are a bit off, like some lines not really right on the edge, but we can always fix that. Okay, so let's continue actually, remeshing this. And if you want to, you can actually just start copying. You could just say, remesh or reproject. We can do the reprojection either in here or in zebras. I think I'm going to do it in zebras later. So because I want to keep a base for my pants. Okay, so let's continue with this. And let's find it. Let's say vertex. Let's move it up. I'm just going to move them in position and then weld them all together later. Okay, there's a bit of an issue in there. We're going to hide it later and fix it. Let's move that over. Yeah, even though we've had a few tiny slumps, you probably saw that it's still easier to actually retopologize that. And you see why I didn't actually bother that much with having it being that precise or whatever, because we can always fix things. And yeah, for whatever reason this Maya kinda misbehaves right now. What on earth? You know what? Let's delete all by type history. And I'm just going to start moving the the vertices, the edges slightly closer, like this is kind of off, obviously. So let's say maybe that's horrible. Let's move that down here. Let's maybe do something like that. Okay, so you get the idea how this is going to go for the next part. So feel free to ask questions or whatever, or just talk in the chat. And as you see, there's probably a problem in here. But we can add some more edge loops later. It's going to fix that. Hmm. That's a little bit of a bummer here. How this okay. And then we have an entire line missing from here. So we will either move this up or move it down, I guess. I think I'm going to move this up, or we'll try to move that up. This needs some fixing as well. Let's see, we did one side. Okay, let's try and make this even, I guess. Let's try like that. Then move this down. Okay, let's make his bum a little bit better. Okay, well, good enough. Let's move that up. Okay, let's see how we are on here. I don't know what to do about this line, although we do have few lines. So let's say this can go and merge down here, which means we can bring the entire loop up. I At least they look the same. And then maybe do something with this loop. Why is this loop even higher up now? Can I fix this? Something like that, I guess. Let's bring this vertex upwards. Let's bring these lights now up as well. Oops. Okay. Move that outside, on the outside. Okay. We have a few things. Well, okay, they are good enough here, down here. I'm going to edit how this looks later because I don't like it. I'm going to make it more look like actual, proper pants that actually fit on the character rather than, just be that way. But I'm going to do it in zebras, to be honest. Not going to do it right now because I think it's, well, at least for me it's easier to do it in zebras. It feels more fluid, Okay, so moving down the edge just breaks it from one side. So, maybe do something like that. And we are missing an edge loop down here, as we can see. So we can maybe cut it. Okay. Cut it as well. Well, this does have the edge loop, but so this needs to go upward. Okay, then bring the vertex out. We'll bring those two out as well. So chat is pretty silent, so let's see, what are you guys are working on? Or what's your favorite series? That's not the Souls-like series. Let's see how we are with everything else. Okay, everything seems to be running, hopefully. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Okay, we are doing fine. I think for the most part we are kind of identical. We could just also mirror this, I guess, or mirror one side. We could, but we're not going to do that. And this with this is actually off, but I think I can move this edge up here. Okay, but then it breaks this edge, so that's really nice, and that's kind of horrible. I move it like that. Yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it, but if we bring all of them above, this will work. Okay, then we need one knife from here to here. Okay, that's kind of similar, sort of similar, I guess. you know what? I'm just going to mirror it. We're going to lose some progress though, so let me think. Yeah, if we mirror it, we could also reproject it either way. Okay, so you know what? Let's try that. Let's try mirroring it. Let's say give me half my faces. This and this as well, so that's okay. And I think it was somewhere we had. Do we have here? It's going to duplicate them. We want to extrude, like to extract. Okay. So let's do a delete all history. Okay, and let's put this onto the raw layer. Then we have this, so let's say mirror axis on the X on the plus version. Axis position on. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Let's say offset. No. Oh, here we go. Oops. Borders. Do not merge borders. Cut geometry off. Yeah, this might work. Something like that, I guess. This could, yeah, could work. Okay. I think it's too high up though. It's too. I don't like that it breaks this, like it's not really centered. That's not much. Okay, so since that's going to work, let's remove this. Oops, no. Let's go back. Okay, let's join this one now, and we'll try to work with it. Now, since this is missing, oops, knife. Okay, let's do that there. Then we can start merging actually. And let's see, or is this collapse? Okay, we can say this is with merge. Okay, merge, then this and this merge. I want to start merging. Before I do merge all, I want to at least try and merge the first couple of things. Okay. Merge as well. Okay, merge. So we have a few things merged. Then you can, you know, you can select this. It selects the ones behind as well. So let's try it like that. Hit merge. We can raise the merge the distance threshold to 1 till everything is merged, and then it's this and this. Merge all of them. Okay. Then let's merge these two. Okay. Don't suppose anyone remembers the hotkey for merge. Oops. Let's merge to center. Okay, we want merge. Okay. Okay with that. And now let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so that can come down here or slightly down, I guess. Down here, then we can start merging this vertex with vertex. Okay, there goes that. So we have now a full edge here. So that means we can also start joining them. Okay, then let's do this and this right as well. Perfect. Goes that. And we'll merge, and we merge. Okay, so I think we have, for the most part, yeah, I think we're only missing this now. What should we do about it? It is an border. Well, we can always, you know, just add one more knife here. And we can always do that, I guess. Oops. And I won't tell if you do not tell. So, you know. It will be our little secret. Okay, then we can actually just move it out of the way. Add it over there. So I think that that's for the entire pants, that we kind of covered all of it. Now let's see how we are with the UVs, and as you can see they still have separate UVs and so on and so on. Okay, which is really nice. We can also then duplicate this after we delete all type by history, of course. Let's see, let's duplicate it, and I'm going to yeah, that's not really nice. Don't know why that's doing it like that. Although I can't guess why it's doing it like that, because the pivot point is not onto the center, it's down there, but it should have. Anyway, we'll just duplicate it. Okay, then Actually, before we do that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to select all the vertices and I'm going to click merge with threshold of 0.01. So technically, if there is any WV, any double vertices, it should, you know, get rid of them and it should have merged them now. So it should be good. Then I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to go onto my channel box and I'm going to say scale on X, just set it to -1, and there we go. We have our semi, you know, mirrored mesh, which is not actually that bad. So we can merge this now on the center line, and we have a fully retoppled pants. So let's do that. But first we kind of want to combine these two. So we'll go with mesh combine, and then let's go with vertex to vertex, then wield, represent it. No, that's collapse. Wheel tool. That's what. Yep. Oh no. I kind of want to make it on the center. So let's say edit mesh. That's where duplicate. Let's say. Yes, that. Well, it actually doesn't really need to be moved. It just need to be merged at the center. That's the center is right on the pivot, so that's should be correct at least. But I'm still going to bring it inside ZBrush and fit it over the model, so you know it's still going to have to change as well. So, well, okay, let's go with combine because I can't actually find it. Oh, come on. Open, edit. No. Mesh tools, multicut, offset, draw, target weld. Let's merge to center. Let's see how we are. Yeah, that's exactly what I was usually searching for. And I'm going to do it manually because oops, it makes a little bit more sense to me. Let's do wireframe. Oh, goody. So let's bring that here. This and this, so we're only left with these two. Okay, so that should be correct. Okay, so here's our retoupled pants, which means selecting this. Well, okay, we could do, you know, a little bit of a better job. Let's see how we are. Okay, with it, just going to kind of make it fast for now at least. Okay, so here's what I can do, and I can actually do. So let's go with delete all by type history, then object, and I'm going to export my selection. Let me find the position I want to place it. Actually, you know what, let's add it over here to this game, and I'm going to export it as an obj when I find it. And let's see, obj export, file name, oh come on, pants low. Okay, export selection. Let's open zebras. Okay, so here's our guy. I'm going to append a cube or whatever. Then I'm going to import on top of that. I'm going to import my mesh after I find it, of course. Oh, come on. The projects, game, pants low. So, one small issue. Our pants are quite huge, but you see they are frame. That's our guy down there. Now I'm going to duplicate them. No, I'm not going to duplicate them. So that means I'm going to delete this. I'm going to click unify down to the deformation, and it's going to bring them down. So I'm just going to start scaling them now until they actually fit our character. That's super high though. Huh. Yeah, no, that's going to be problematic, as you can see, because it's kind of hard to actually pinpoint it. Actually, you know what? It's not that it's hard, it's that because we mirrored it and because it doesn't actually reflect the positions we want, we're going to just eyeball it, to be honest, because we could always fix it. But before we even start going and scaling it on the character, so let me just re-import it again. Okay, even if it's huge, I'm going to duplicate this as well, and I'm going to import my high poly now. Do we fix? Okay. Oh, well, now they are all offsetted, but why? Yeah, I don't know why it gets offsetted. It should have been since we know we placed this over here, but you know what? We already have the high poly, so we can just export that. Let's add this. Okay, we don't want that. Let's add the entire gloop into a layer. Close it down. Oh, god damn it. Okay, let's find. Okay, it's not that. That's the one. That's not the one. Okay, so it's this one. And this. Oh. Yeah, it's offsetted from here. I guess we could try and place it like this. It's going to be a little bit simpler. Well, okay, even something like this should do, because we can always just reproject. So, selecting these two, I'm going to export selection, and actually, you know what, let's not select both of them. Let's say select this, export selection, pants high, and then export selection, pants low, and let's just go and replace them. So, well, okay, this doesn't really need replacing, this needs to be replaced. This means we can go back here. Let me add one shortcut here. A pin, okay. Then pants low. Okay, so here's how easy it is. You can just go on project all, and now they are at kind of the same position. So technically, if you start dividing now, let's remove that one and start reprojecting again, we're going to end up with the base idea with all the logic. As you can see, we missed one spot, well, both from one of the other. That's why we're getting this. But here's what we can do for that. We can merge it. Well, actually, let's merge it in Maya because it's going to be simpler. Okay, let's close that. And yeah, there it is. Vertex. Okay, that's enough. That's okay. Then this and this. Damn it. Do we need? Okay. Then we need this and this as well. Awesome. Let's export it again. So file, export selection, pants low, export selection, and then again zebras. Let's import this, and let's import. Why are you still? Yeah, I think it's still not merged. Yeah, it's still not merged. But why though? Oh, that's why. Because we didn't actually export everything. Nothing. Oh, come on. Okay. Import pants low. Okay, then you can start, dividing and projecting it all. It starts to get a little bit awkward, mostly because the topology is going to start to get screwed a little bit and you are missing a few points. So there is a way to fix that. Let's go back and we can raise the distance up to 1. That's okay, so let's go even one more step backwards. Divide, projectile, divide, projectile. Okay, so we start to get the base for all of these. Divide, projectile. Well, okay, we shouldn't really project a lot more because it's going to start getting the edges, as you see, because we do not have a lot of particles on this. We will start getting the edges for the pants, your pants as well. So I think with this it should be enough. Now there is a few places where I would like to fix it, to fix a few things. And for whatever reason I can't get my brush to show. Oh yeah, I can't get the brush because it's too small. It's yeah, the brush is too small. This is way too huge. So okay, so this is pretty much useless now. We can delete that, and here we have our punch low, which means we can enable this guy, and then go to modify it to deformation, unified it, so it's going to be small now. Move the small, and we can start detailing, you know, do all the things, but I'm still not going to start doing a lot of things with this, to be honest. Okay, so you now start sculpting, and as you see, even though we had it mirrored, we still get the same amount of well, we have different folds and stuff like that. Okay, so that's one workflow. Let's go a few steps back. Actually, let's close this and let's append the cube again, and I'm going to import now the punch low, even if they are too big, and I'm also going to append again the punch high. Import, oops, that's one. I'm going to import the high punch. Okay, so with punch low, I can go on my polyframe. Even if this is super ugly topology, you could always go to geometry and then not dynamesh, zero mesher, zero mesh it. Okay, and you're going to end up with a much better topology, I guess. You could always actually go remove the adaptive size and zero mesh it again. Okay, so you get even more, and you can always go lower, oh, yeah, before it actually starts, you know, being destroyed or something like that, or stuff like that. Yeah, I don't really like these results, so that's why I prefer this, but of course you might want to fix a few issues with that. So final thing, well, not final thing, we still have a lot to do. I'm going to say punch high, punch low, okay, delete, okay, punch low, and let's go and delete all this. Actually, no, let's say you want to now export your normal map. Next thing you can do with zebras, let's say you go and sculpt or whatever. Okay, then if you remove, well, you know what, let's not do it like this. So this is our low poly mesh, right? No matter how you move it around or whatever, you could always just go and export it. Let's say punch sculpted low, you know, after we have finished with all of it, and so on. And then we come down here and start sculpting on it, and we're gonna do all of it, okay, and stuff like that. And you want to export your normal map instead of baking it like you will normally do in Substance Painter or whatever. Let's actually open Substance Painter and see it there, what I mean. Let's export the high poly mesh from this. So export punch high sculpted. Okay, obviously we're not done. I'm just going to give you just a slight overview. I think if you have an overview of the workflow, it's going to work better. Let me know if you have different opinion on that. From that. Let's see, Substance Painter. Okay. close. So let's create a new file, whatever from here. Actually, okay, let's create one of this. Okay, import mess. I know that's for that. Let me select my file. That will be under Z projects. Okay. So I'm going to bring my pants sculpted low inside Substance Painter. Okay, so we are here in Substance Painter with this. And you normally, how you are going to be baking your maps, it will be from adding your high poly mesh. Okay, say that, and let's say bake default map, and it's going to try and bake a few other things as well, but we'll see. And for whatever reason, yeah, we do not actually get to see the normal map on this, and I don't actually know why. That's interesting. Okay, I'm not really going to bother with this, to be honest, because why bother? But say one thing that you can do is actually go down to the normal map down here, and you can click create normal map. But first you need to go on the lower subdivision first, and then you can go again down to the normal map and create the normal map. So this normal map that gets created, although I think it kinda ruined our UVs. Yeah, it probably ruined the UVs because we forgot to do one thing. We forgot to actually change the UVs. Oh, damn it. No, this has UVs, but let's see. Yeah, it has UVs, but it has them overlapping. Yeah. Damn it. Well, okay, we can export it again, so you know, who cares? But yeah, you can actually export, well, you know what? Since we are doing this, let's just maybe fix them properly as well. Okay. So any questions on the chat? I see Micaiah Stevens is here. Say hello to him. He is also the mod on our Discord. And you should really follow his channel as well, if you haven't. Yeah, let's move this back down. Okay, so now this has unified UVs. Well, it has proper UVs. So that means we can also export it. As you can see, I'm really discovering things as I'm going. Okay, so it's not really that, you know, well, I've done this before, just it's been so long that I kind of forgot most of it, as you can see. But yeah, that doesn't mean it's going to stop me from trying it again. Okay, so let's do this again. Let's append the box or something, whatever, and then import the pants high again. Then raise it up. Let's close that, and we have pants low. Let's do one reprojection. Distance to 1. Okay, geometry. Then divide. What? Subdivision. We fully subdivide all the height. What on earth? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's wrong. Why did you? I think it kind of ruined something. I don't know. Let's import it again. Don't know why it imported with subdivision subdivision levels. Who knows? Okay, project all, find project all. Okay, that's all of it. And I think we can do one more. And there we go. And then we can start polishing it and do the rest later. So let's lower that. We can close that. You can start now, or maybe just do one more. So it's a little bit smooth. We're still going to have to, you know, lower all of that. But now if I go on to my, if I lower this on the lower subdivision level, because it has UVs, go on to the normal map and say create me a normal map, and here you can see that I actually have a normal map without even baking. And not only that, this normal map is actually pretty accurate because it doesn't have any overlapping faces, and it's taken from the subdivision levels rather than the you know, baking it on a gauge map and stuff like that. So it's far more accurate, or well, it has far less errors in this case. So to save that, I think you can just go onto texture and let's see, clone map. Yeah, so it seems I forgot how to do it. Texture, yeah, clone normal map, I think. Texture, yeah, slow, and you can say export. We don't want it as PNG. Let's do a PNG. Okay, then on my Z projects, let's find it. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's the normal map. Obviously, you know, it's not really that ideal, but you get the idea of how this will work. And of course we can always start, you know, placing things around, moving them and adding them on the correct position, and so on and so on. Awesome. So I can start sculpting this and doing things on top of it, but I think, at least for this one, because I wanted to create a base for it, and I would like to, you know, do some pockets and stuff like that, I think I will do that with box modeling inside Maya rather than doing it here. So we could, however, okay, let's delete the okay, well, we don't care for that. Let's go. Okay, say we have all of that. Okay, let's open the subtool. We can keep this. Let's unify this. For unifying this, we need to bring in the body, then deformation, unify. Okay, then let's scale it down until it kind of fits. It should fit around his waist. I think that's slightly too big. Maybe something like that. Maybe slightly up. Okay, then I can just, you know, use the move brush in here. And I'm actually going to go into lower subdivision so it's easier to move. And I can start placing them around. And I think I want move topological. Let's find it. Move topological. Okay, let's lower that. Move like this. Okay, so you can see that I don't really have to worry that much about it. I can do anything I want really, especially in zebras. And I should really add my tools to this. And actually that's what I'm going to do, so give me a second till I set this up. We are yeah, we are close to, no, not close, we are in 2 hours into live streaming, and to tell you the truth, I'm actually quite tired, but we're going to continue. We're going to do, yeah, we're going to try and aim for 3 hours, and after that I'm going to take a nap, to be honest. Okay, so connect my tools. Any questions, anything? Not only for what we're doing, programming related or whatever you want to ask, you can ask it now. Now's your chance. Let me see my chat. Will I ever convert some tutorials to text-based tutorials? I have done some, actually, and actually an entire series, yes, text-based tutorials, and they got posted on Gamma Sutra. So I've done that before. It just takes, well, obviously if you're following along with any of my videos, you'll see how big my project is. So if you have any ideas how can a project, for example, like Souls-like, be turned into a text-based tutorial, well, then I'm all ears, because I sure don't know how I can make something that is about 200 videos, you know, make it condensed into a simple text tutorial. But yeah, as I said, I've done it before. It's something actually I want to go on to some point, but at least for the big projects I'm doing, certainly it's better to have the videos. Let's move that. Okay, move them around. To be honest, I don't really like clothes, modeling clothes that much, and that's why I'm doing it in live stream, because yeah, I'm pushing myself to do things I don't like, because when you're doing it in front of people, you actually, you know, have to care a little bit more than when you're doing it all by yourself. And you might get some feedback right away. And I see you start posting things on Discord as well. Maybe something like that. We have to do something for that as well. Maybe we had to scale it a little bit better. But I think it's also the lower resolution that is ruining this. But okay, we can work around it. Yeah, I don't know how to set up categories on Twitch. I'm new to this. So if you have any insight, that would be lovely. I'm not actually doing science and technology though. I think this is art. However, okay, let's change the material of this guy to something else. I'm not actually using the dashboard for Twitch. I'm using Restream, so you know, or maybe I can set it up and it will use that settings. Who knows? We'll try it though. Okay, yeah. I don't know what to do about that. Those two. Well, okay. I don't really mind that this is, you know, clipping because we're going to be hiding it in game, and this is pretty low poly. And it's probably we're probably going to have to add a few more things onto it. And because I'm moving it around, if I move back, and I am on the lower subdivision level, if I go to the highest subdivision level, you can see that I actually get to have all the creases and stuff like that even there. So I'm just going to work with the basic shape and make it look a little bit better. That's what I didn't like to this. I wanted to maybe make this a little bit flatter, but rather than fighting the simulation, I knew I wanted to do that in here in ZBrush. Okay, so I'm going to raise it over here, and as I said, I'm still going to make this as you know what, let's start smoothing some things. This will be our base pants where we're going to be creating the all the other pants on top of them, on top of it. So I'm going to box model a few things. I'm going to rig them later as well. And something like that. So I'm not really worried that much about the quality of it at the moment. Okay. Oops. Let's see what else we have. Any questions? Anything else? I think we can move this slightly higher up. Okay, now, well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to, you know, actually get rid of this, the high values we have for that, the higher subdivision levels, but we could also bring this in a little bit, so it's not that over exaggerated. And I'm not really worried that much because we do get this the base. Well, you know, although that's probably not going to animate that well, but we can always add more topology for animation later, so I'm not that worried about it. We can always change the topology at the end. I mean, if you're not really moving the edges, it's not really also going to stretch the UVs or whatever, so it's okay. or it might actually. But yeah, we're still not done. As you can see, we can right out of the bat we can tell that this needs to go a little bit outside, so it gets a little bit of better position and a better curve. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to duplicate this. We have our pants low. I'm going to duplicate them. Can delete this one now, and let's rename this to pants high. But first, you can see, for whatever reason, whenever I duplicate, they actually moves the objects down in ZBrush. Don't know why. Then we have the pants low, which we can remove the higher resolution, and then I can actually export this, and the male object as well, and export it back to Maya or Blender or whatever for further modeling. Okay, but I'm going to do that once I'm happy with it. So for pants high, I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to try and work a little bit more. Our logic here, our pants down there. So let's lower the geometry as well. I'm going to try and give them some shape. I do have made some boots in the past, so I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to try and also layer it above. I do also want to make some variations for the cloth that is going to be tucked inside the boots, but that's going to be afterwards and after we are finished with this. Okay. Again, keep in mind that it's all for making a game that's going to be seen from, for the most part, it's going to be seen from this far away. Now you're going to say, why are you putting that much detail on? Well, if you can, then why not do it? Or well, why not at least try and do it? You always get points for trying. So let's mirror this, let's fix the other side as well. Or you know what, we can also do a mirror and weld operation, and we get both of the boots. The boot is going to need the retopology as well. It's going to need a lot of things, but for now this can stay. And come on. So if you're wondering what's the point of even doing these live streams, well, there's not really a point. I'm just doing things that I feel that they are kind of mundane, to be honest, and I'm always bored to do them by myself, so you know, I'm doing it in a live stream. Maybe you learn something about, maybe you learn something new, maybe you won't, maybe it's completely pointless, maybe you don't care. I feel you, but that's what I'm going to be doing here. Of course, we're still going to be making all the other series and what we're doing with all of them. I think we're going to need to bring them in a little bit so it looks like actually, so it actually looks like pants. Okay. I'm certainly not the fastest scouter in the west or east or even the center, but we're going to, yeah, we're going to modify this even further in Maya, which is going to be slightly easier than doing this here. Then anything extra like the belt loops or, you know, pockets, stuff like that, we're going to do it inside Maya. We're going to actually box model them because it's going to be much faster than this. and I feel like his feet are kinda look silly, but it might be the way he's sitting. We can always remove the feet later, so you know, whatever. Okay, I feel like I like it. It's not that bad. I feel like it's okay. It's coming along. We still have a lot to do, of course, and we still have 40 minutes for this. And to tell you the truth, I'm kind of tired already. But okay, so so this will be your base, the base pants. We still have some work to do with it. Let's see. Well, actually, let me save the project. Yes, okay. So, and maybe we can go and create some pants with this. Now, I will export it, both the high poly and maybe the low poly as well. Actually, no. I'm going to just duplicate this and export the low poly while still keep the high, just so that I can reproject a few things later. For example, let's say I go on subdivision 1 and delete higher. Okay, so now this is my high poly and this is my low poly. Say maybe after I finish with it. Okay, if I select this and go onto my punch low and I have punch high, let's keep it at solo, and say I'm going to go and start smooth subdivision and so on. There is something called the zip project brush, which I can go down here and I can start. Yeah, it's not going to work that well because I think maybe it doesn't need to be. Yeah, I think we have to play with the distance for this brush. Let's see. Brush, maybe it's the depth. No. Okay, maybe let's do Control Z. Let's do. Okay, let's do maybe divide, and we can start Z projecting it back again. Okay, as you can see, it does change, and then divide again, and it will really slow start to get some. Yeah, no, it's this, but I think we're going to have to play with the settings, and I don't know which settings those are. Fire. Yeah, anyway, we could always still Z project again, even if we had the pockets on top of it. Well, it might have ruined the pockets, but you could always get the other edges and so on, like this, for example, with the Z project brush. Okay, so there's always ways to do things. Okay, so I'm not really worried that much, and we can always simplify some of these forms and give him new, let's say standard brush, and give him some new forms as well, while still always retaining, okay, like this, like this, while still always having UVs on top of a brush and so on. sometimes. Okay, so whenever I'm finished with this, I can always just go export my UVs. I should have a bolts or whatever over here. And not export my UVs, export my how do you call the normal maps. Can we see how it looks in game? Yes, when it's finished. Right now it's not even finished. It's not well, it's just a mess, so it will just look like this. You won't have textures obviously, but I guess we can export if we create a normal map. Actually, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Let's copy that, and let's say I'm going to add my initials to this, or well, the channel's initials, not mine. Okay, so you'll see it inside Unity. There you go. Sharp accent, the Trump logo. Okay, so let's say that. Let's maybe put a heart to that. And because I know you love me, I'm also going to add an arrow to this. And maybe put it on the other side. Okay, so let's create a normal map to this. Yeah, we first need to go on the highest. Sharp jeans soon to be available at the Gap. Of course, look for sharp accent merchandise for your sharp accent jeans. Oops. Okay, there's my normal map. I'm going to create it. I'm going to clone it. I'm going to save it. Export. I'm going to export it as a PNG. Not that matters, you know. Okay, then if we now export this, we can go into Unity. Let's find this guy. We can export, we can import the obj. We can import the normal map. Let's find our scene. There we go. We have to create a new well, this goes for the set. We want to have it onto the normal map. Okay. Okay, so I think kinda we probably exported the wrong map or the wrong UVs. I think it has. Why is it like this? Yeah, I don't know. I think we kinda well, this will be the low poly once we finish it, which is more than adequate for what we actually want. And from the distance we're going to be seeing it. I don't know why we are missing the UVs for this. So you know what, let's export it. We have already exported. Let's add it inside Maya then. Import. Load object. And it's down here. Let's see your UVs. Yeah, this has, at least this has correct UVs. So it makes me wonder, I think the normal map could be off. Yeah, it's flipped. That's why it is. I exported it wrong. On your normal map, create a normal map. So flip green channel, no. Huh. Don't want to be flipped. Oh, okay, yeah, I know what it is. You have to first rotate them like this and do them. Yeah, as you can see, there's so many things that you have to remember. Sometimes you, yeah, you kind of have to remember so many things. That's just game development for you. Remember, you chose to do this. Punch low, and there we go. There's a lovely heart. Look for it for sharp accent merchandise. You will notice that we get these seam edges here. Now, depending on the punch, you might want to get those, but that's basically the faces are wrong. So to get the smooth face for that, you can't do it via zebras. You can't do it from zebras. You have to do it via Maya or Blender or whatever. And to get the smooth shading onto them, you have to select all the faces and then go to mesh or edit mesh. No, mesh display, and you have to do soften edges. Now if I exported this and add it back to Unity, which I'm not going to do it because, you know, fuck that, it's still not done, it's going to look smooth instead of having these lines. The other way to do this is you can calculate the angles inside here instead of importing them. Hit apply, and to calculate those, then you probably have to, so if you're looking for that Cinti look, that's how you're going to make it, which I don't actually like, to be honest. Okay, otherwise you can just calculate the the normals here. You know, I don't actually always do it like this. I don't actually like doing it like this because it gives you more control if you do it from you know, your modeling software or whatever. There's a few issues I can see in here on the crotch of this guy, but that's basically the main idea of how we can get some clothes semi-fast rather than having to sculpt all of this again and again. Okay, you can start from Marvelous Designer. Now, if I wasn't talking and if I didn't have those problems I had at the start, I could probably make this slightly faster. So it's pretty valid approach. Okay, but as you can see, we do end up with a model, a pretty good model. And I think because I have the model in here as well, if we reset the position, you can see him wearing it. And yeah, okay, it does need a few adjustments, but we're going to fix them in Maya as well, because we also need to cap off the top and the bottom so we don't get anything weird onto the shadows and stuff like that. Okay, and we're also going to change the model at some point in the future. Oops, this guy is looking like he's touching that other guy, so let's move him over there. Not that it's wrong touching another guy, but you know, let's have them hold hands. Maybe they are dancers. Okay, anyway, enough chit chat. So, you know what? I think we're done, at least for this part. So I'm going to kind of start organizing now. So the next time it's a little bit easier. I think everything is better than Twilight, so you know, it's not hard to top on garbage. Okay, so I'm going to put my tablet aside and I'm going to start organizing, and for the last 25 minutes. You can ask stuff, ask anything, do what you want, and I'm going to finish with the stream. Now the next stream is probably going to be Wednesday, and it's going to be programming. Okay, I think I'm going to keep Mondays for art, and spread the other things around in the week. I'm still going to be pretty busy, and up until after August, or towards the end of the August, I'm probably not going to be able to set a proper streaming schedule. So, you know, we're going to move on with the colony sim, the space colony sim, and then do the rest later. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to keep this. I like this. I'm going to delete this one. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to duplicate this. Then I'm going to rename this as punch low, and I'm going to bring in subdivision level 0, delete higher, and I'm going to export this now onto myself. Let's organize this. I'm going to organize my folders a little bit. I'm going to just name it this raw, that there, that there. Okay, I'm going to also export this guy so we can fix all these issues inside Maya, because it's going to be simpler. Okay, save that. So I'm saving the projects inside Zebras, and I can close it now. Then in Maya, I actually don't need any of this anymore. We're done with this part, so new scene, and maybe even a new project will do. Okay, let's leave it like that, and then import my punch low. Where is all of this? It's actually weird why I'm not seeing them. Punch low base, and again import mail base object. Okay, so here we are. Let's add some shading to this guy, so it has some different colors, and let's create, not that I know what I'm doing with hypershade, but you know. Oh, come on. Let's say let's do Lambert. Let's change its color to something that it really shows. Okay, and then select that and assign material selection. Okay, so we can see this. Okay, so now I can actually start modeling this a little bit better. You know, so maybe let's add, for now, let's add some edge loops here and here, so that we can move this forward. And move on. Okay. We should fix this a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. That's definitely better than what we had before. And I see the chant going wild. let's move that up. Okay, so let's say you wanted to do, we're going to, yeah, I'm actually bored to fix this right now, so we'll do this later. Let's say I wanted to make some, you know, maybe some pockets onto this. If this was some cargo pants or whatever, then you could always just box model them. You could just do face, extrude, maybe bring this slightly down so it feels like it's sagging. Okay, then extrude some more. Do this. Extrude some more. I think it's too, yeah, I think it's too thick. Oops, I don't want to rotate it like that. You know, maybe make that. Let's do bevel. That's too much. Let's say 0.2 and bevel this and bevel that. Okay, and there you go. You kind of have your pockets. Now it does have some extra faces, but you know, we can always fix that as well. You can move this around, and maybe you can add some breaks over here. For example, you can join this and this and do some broad, and maybe raise one side up so it doesn't feel like it's that, or so it feels more organic. Rather than, you know, something that's like a box. You can raise one of that up, maybe that, maybe move that like that. Okay, there's always stuff you can do with this. So I'm going to let them, yeah, I'm going to leave all of them for the future. Whoop. Dude, let's copy that and move that like that, like that. Okay. Yes, perfect for pocket sand. I see we have some King of the Hill fans. Well, I think maybe the pocket needs to be slightly bigger, but you get the idea. That's my point, that we did the base. Now we're going to, on the next one, we're going to start developing a little bit further. But actually on the next one, we're going to create the shirt and not the pants and stuff like that. And that's because I want them to be the base. So I'm going to create the base, maybe skin them, maybe whatever. I'm not going to bother with texturing or whatever. That's going to come later. And we're going to start moving forward with our advanced inventory framework and the turn-based game. Okay, so let's do, actually, you know what, because it's really not that much that I did, I'm just going to import it back again, and we want Panslow base. Okay, and we can add them back again, what we just added. Oops, don't want that. Okay, okay, maybe add one more edge here, maybe add one more here. I think it should be fine for now. We can always fix that. Maybe move this vertex a little bit further out. Oh, come on. Okay, let's bring this forward, maybe slightly down. Not that great. I think that needs to be forward, up and forward. Okay, slightly better. Let's bring this up. Yes, new pattern lessons are probably coming tomorrow. No, probably they are coming tomorrow. Let's move that up. So yeah, as you can guess, I'm actually just burning some time. Ah, come on. Maybe do it like that. Maybe add this detail here, and then here this can go in slightly. If it clips a little bit, it's okay, because I'm going to show you another way without cutting up the mess. We can still have changing gear and stuff like that. So, last 15 minutes, now's your chance to ask questions, even personal ones, if you dare. Yeah, that's horrible. Lower that up. How are your kids? I don't have any kids. At least as far as I know. And I think that we should look at up. Maybe extrude it slightly. I think the model is a little bit way too, it's a little bit of exaggerated on its proportions, which is not really that bad of a thing, but the clothes might need something. I've only followed dualists, but from what I gather from Souls and Heat, you can start from here. Refactoring is harder than it says, lol. Yes, that's kind of the point. But no, actually I don't agree. I think it's simpler, but you have to at least have an overall idea of what we're going to do and why we're doing it. It's just sometimes I'm going kind of fast with them because, you know, we have done it before. You might not have done it if you haven't followed the series from all the videos, but I guess, well, I think it's still simpler because we've gone through so many iterations that I can just do things way simpler now than once I first started, I guess, or once I first started the Souls-like series, for example. I think it gets a little bit complicated or more complicated because the more I go, well, I usually treat this as prototypes rather than tutorials. Okay, because we are trying to make a game, even if we never might finish it, it's still a game. So I still prototype, and then we find solutions to problems we didn't know we had. but that's how it works. I don't, yeah, okay. I don't feel that they were bad, to be honest. I just feel that, as I said, we were prototyping a lot. For example, on the Souls like, we did an inventory with XML. If you want to learn XML, feel free to watch it, feel free to see it. But the grand scheme of things, the grand scheme of making the Souls like tutorial, I think we could just do it a faster way or a simpler way. Okay, but of course that doesn't mean XML is useless. You can still use it for a lot of things. Okay. So I'm going to worry a little bit more for the average, for the shape of it, not so much for clipping, because we're going to call it colony scene. Yes, I know it's a sinful series. But yeah, the colony sim, I believe, well, we didn't actually have any refactors onto it. But the colony sim had a lot of, it was a lot of prototyping. It's an entire series of just prototyping, to be honest. Which is not bad. You get to see ideas, try ideas, do stuff like that. Now I think you're doing fine. You don't have to wake up. So that's where I'm going to leave it. We have our pants. We are going to see the shirt next time. I might just start modeling this so we do things faster when not in a live stream. Or might just keep everything for a live stream, since it's just when I'm tired to do anything else, I'm going to be doing the art. So let's save this as the Maya scene. Okay, so let's say last 8 minutes. Now's your chance to shine. We have one watching on Twitch. We have 8 people watching on YouTube. So any questions? Anything? I think we have already said that. So we can close that. Let's see, I do have open Blender, which I don't really need it. Let's see how this goes. And yeah, I think you can see that the difference it makes, especially from the low poly models. Let's see, and I'm also going to cover the environment art and stuff like this. I'm not going to, for the most part, I'm not going to be making them from start though, from scratch. Might just modify some of these, to actually make it faster. Interesting. Okay, so why did this guy finish it? So I guess we have some bugs under this series. Okay. We're going to fix them all in time. I'm actually finished doing models. We've been doing it for the last 3 hours, so I'm actually really tired. So, okay, let's finish it 6 minutes earlier. I'm pretty sure you know by now what to do. If you want to see more stuff, more series, more all of this, then consider supporting me on Patreon if you haven't already, Also, feel free to share the videos with your friends, families, tell everyone about the live streams. Next live stream will probably be Wednesday. I will have to check my schedule. It's not always depending on me, so that's the thing. Yeah, so probably we're going to talk about live and Wednesday. Of course, feel free to reach out on the Discord. And tomorrow, as I said, we're going to have some new lessons for patrons and so on and so on. So, I'll see you on the next one. Toodaloo!